We on with the next series. Team Russia against Washed Up. And we are heading into Brax's holdout. And for the first time ever since I casted them, the Russian team is not starting in red. Now, I don't know if that is an advantage, if that's a disadvantage, if all of a sudden the Russians have really embraced democracy and are starting in blue right now, or if any of these political jokes even make any sense or not. The fact of the matter is, Russia starts to the left this time. We have Washed Up on the right, and for all of you that haven't really caught up to what we're doing here, this is the Division S qualifier, where we have the teams trying to make it into Division S, which is not going to be a new professional league. Players won't be able to make a living off the prize money and playing here, but it's a competitive league that gets established where we have at least some prize money, so a semi-pro league, so to say, where we will have a new competitive environment for ex-pro players and amateurs that are trying to advance to become that. And this first qualifier so far going pretty well. We are in the semi-final actually. Team Russia, they played in the Nations Cup and did extremely well there, took the victory. Washed Up consists of Mene, Hazorps, Eternal, they have Smexy, and they also have JPL, so a lot of former pro players that play in their team. They are the favorite currently in the tournament here. But Russia has played as expected, A, very aggressively, and B, very successful. So they ban out Hammer on Braxis, they ban out Zeratul, and we have the first pick on Gul'dan for Mene, Mr. XXL himself. Streaming a lot these days, having a lot of fun with that too. But as you can see, I personally want to know what Russia's going to do right now. Again, you're on Braxis, 2-lane map, you want to have a dominant position up at the top lane, you will make sure that your solo laner is in a good spot there, and at the same time your 4-man has to be able to fight over that beacon of course too. So, what is the first rotation for them? Is it going to be that... Ooh, Maiev. Now that she's through, they finally get their Maiev, and again Malfurion. And this is something that the Russian team has actually done over and over and over again. They love to play that early Malfurion for Call Yamartian. And they've done that in the Nations Cup, they are doing it now in the Division S qualifier. And so far, it's been working out for them. They just defeated Lauber's fan club. But here's Urel for the top lane for Eternal, JPL with Nuburak. Found out apparently in the first day of the qualifier yesterday when they were trying to pick Garrosh that he actually doesn't own Garrosh. That's of course the downside when Blizzard has provided you with an HTC account in the past that has everything unlocked, and now all of a sudden you have to go back to an account where you have to unlock every single hero. So it was a bit of a downside of that. Tyrande gets banned out by the Russian team. I mean, if you go up against an Anuburak composition, you want to make sure that there's not a follow-up stun with a Hunter's Mark that can just body you completely. And so far, they secured that. But with that, what do we see banned from Washed Up? There's still the front line that they can ban out. They can still ban out Garrosh, for example, if they're worried about Garrosh dominating the bot lane. Stalk played a lot with Tyrael, but then again, this is a very different map, a very specific map at that, so it is the Garrosh ban that we're actually seeing here. But personally, I'm really curious to see how Stalk plays this. Like, he has definitely a bit of a different hero pool than a lot of the other main tanks. We saw Imperius in a main tank role from him in a previous game. Rexa for the top lane. Alright, baby. I'm already on board. Rexa is good on this map. He's actually, if there is a map where Rexa is good, it's this one. Controlling the beacon and trying to get lane experience is what you usually can achieve with Rexa. The question is what happens when he starts to join the rest of the fights. But the Russians in particular, they always like Misha. They always like Misha. And well, there's the Phoenix and Deckard Cain setup for Washed Up. Phoenix himself can actually play on the top lane. I mean, we're going to see Urel there, but we have seen a few adjustments in the past where a Phoenix player has started to rock the top lane instead. Deckard Cain, of course, for the good zoning at the bottom of the map. And the last pick, what's Stalk gonna take here? We're still missing his hero. And there's Imperius again. He does it once more. Imperius in the main tank role for him. Brax's holdout. Game number 1, map number 1. And we are heading straight into the first one between Washed Up and Team Russia. Game number 1, we are on Brax's holdout, and to the left, Team Russia. With a Stalk playing Imperius, we have Shamsig on Rexa, Farland on Maiev, Bonabia on Li Ming, and Kolya Martian on Malfurion. On the right side of the map, Washed Up with Smexy playing Deckard Cain, JPL on Anubarak, Main on Gul'dan. We have Eternal on Urel, headed for the top lane, and Hazops on Phoenix. Very, very eager to see Imperius again in this particular setup. And actually, he's switching out his build a little bit. Level 1, going straight into the Celestial Charge here with a quest talent. And that's actually going to be pretty interesting. I mean, right now, the big difference on this map is obviously that we have a 4-man. Nice trap, by the way, here. There's no rotation happening. Misha even sniffed around a little bit, so Shamsik is not going to fall into that trap anytime soon, but he's playing this very careful. So does the bottom, because they don't know where everybody is. But this is definitely going to be extremely interesting here. Cooldown reduction is, of course, great. The Celestial Charge gives you a bit of mobility too. And it is a pretty sick setup if you get all of that together, but it is a very different build of what we've seen from Imperius in the last game, because the last time Stork didn't really bother with any talents that really stacked into this. But right now, since you are basically in this 4 versus 4 setup continuously, he's gonna make that play. Talk about making plays. Shamsik at the top moves out for just a second and goes down. Think about how insane that setup here was. He was playing so safe here the entire time, and he just moves out for 1 second, and that's immediately when it gets pounced upon. So now they're burning down that lane with a 4-man down at the bottom of the map. Of course, there's also a lot of structural damage that has already been done, but Washed Up is taking a small lead in this already. So we are going to definitely see how this is going to plan out in the long run, but I'm absolutely a fan of how this is being played. This is really what we've seen in HGC a lot. You have to be super careful. And again, Rexa was waiting for so long, and he just said, guys, we need to kind of play this, we need to be fine. And here's again the switch around. Rexa has to fall back, has to be cautious here. But he still has now that wall available to himself. And there's rotations the entire time, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Everybody's just rotating around, trying to make sure that they finally find themselves in the setup. And so far, that's working out. Celestial Charge not being used here just yet. So Stork is still waiting for his stacks to come in slowly and steadily here. 3 stacks, by the way, also for Gul'dan, who all of a sudden finds himself in a 1 versus 1 against Maiev at the top lane. Down here, on the other hand, the first stack comes in for Stork. Gets the quest nearly done here. Stuns multiple heroes with a single one. And so far, so good for him. Trying to, of course, like, this is a setup where you can get that quest through. Where you have the, because everybody stacks up. Yeah, it gets another double stun in. Still waiting for the triple, but doing fine here. And the kill against Misha as Washed Up is pressuring this, but Hazops is already losing hit points. The shields are gone. Stork is in this again. Hazops nearly dying, warps out, and with all the sustain that we're seeing, again Russia on the march forward. Stork with another Celestial Charge, trying to get the hit in. Didn't quite work out for him in this case, but now Russia with the points on the objective. Top lane, Farlander needs to capture the experience, needs to capture the wave. That's why Mane can take over the beacon, but Maiev is going to be back soon. Of course, if Gul'dan would go up against Rexa right now, stacking would be a lot easier here. Outside of the level 1 talent change, we are still having the level 4 talent committed to, the Battle Hunger, so you get the additional healing. It's all about the sustain for Stork again. He played the hero now twice in the main tank position, and he tried to get as much self-sustain through his build as he could possibly get in those encounters. The 4-man at the top right now, Washed Up, they keep rotating. They keep the rotations up. They're trying to make sure that they're having the dominant position, can always reclaim at least one of the beacons. And in the meantime, are using that setup also to grab the camps here and get a bit more sustain. Stork is a bit late for that move, but he's trying to make the engage against Smexy. Smexy's low. Barnaby tries to get the combo in with Li Ming. Not able to make that happen yet, but down to the bottom of the map, Urel has taken over the position on the beacon. Gets attacked now and might actually go down here. Nice setup for Malfurion, and that's the kill. But they get the progress as we have finally Malfurion. Oh, Hazops with the kill. Hazops is going in, hits it hard. Stork is now in trouble too. Tries to charge away with the Celestial Charge, but is still locked down as Hazops follows it up with a quick warp in. And then, of course, Mena's overtime damage on Gul'dan is delivering the final few blows. 7 against 6 now in levels, 3 kills against 1. Up at the top lane, we're still... Nice dodge here also with the Wall of the Wardens from Fallen. A good interrupt against Banabir from Smexy. Washed Up is pushing in hard in this game now. It's a semi-final. And we are in the first game of the best of 3 series. But topside, Urel fighting against Chamzix. Rexa now, Misha still on the point, securing that for now. Bot lane heavily pressured. A lot of the structure is already down, but we're seeing Russia coming back into that and now trying to reclaim the spot here. Level 7 talents on both sides, which again gives us the holy favor here for Imperius. And he's still waiting for the triple hit. He still wants them to funnel in so that he can hit 3 heroes at a time to complete that quest. As we see here, he already has a cooldown reduction due to his first quest reward, but if he gets the second one, that would of course be fantastic. Total of 4-second reduction is great, but even with only 2, it's a big asset as it is. No Celestial Charge just now, but Stork is waiting for it. Farlander is there. There's the first setup. They go for an oop. The tether gets dodged by JPL. Gets away from this one. Down at the bottom of the map, Gul'dan is taking over the beacon. We have both teams just going at it right now. Rotations all over the place. Aggressive moves from both sides. Level 10 is, of course, the next goal, but already Stork eating the damage. Charges away as we have JPL going in. In comes Maiev, but gets locked down by Smexy, who keeps himself very far in the back at the entire time. Great coordination from Washed Up. And up to the top side, we again have the beacon claimed by Urel. Rexa rotated down, but Washed Up is now starting to take that lead in experience. And it is starting to become a significant one at that. They're half a level ahead already, and that means the early level 10 is going to help them. And it's not only that, we are having at the same time damage on the fort itself and the fountain taken down. That is a problem. Camps are now also being taken by Team Russia. They're starting to go for those. They're starting to try and take them. We still have Stork sharking around at the bottom. But here comes Urel. Ooh, and he actually misses the charge here. But they're going for the next camp. 36 points on the progress bar against 8%. Top side, Misha is taking over again. Rexa is holding that lane. And while that happens, we're still seeing Stork and his boys starting to move in here, trying to drop a few of the towers. But JPL and his team, they are ready to meet the aggression. Urel is still pushing out the bot lane, and Maev's rotation is a bit late, so there's still a lot of damage that Urel can do at the bottom of the map. But we have that level 10 around the corner for Washed Up. Urel, by the way, is all of a sudden in trouble because Farlander is really going in on this one. That's a nice one-on-one that we have here. Eternal trying to hop away here and is not able to move out. Farlander against Eternal. Oh, Urel goes down. A close call there. A nice one-on-one fight, but at the end of the battle, it is Urel that falls. The heroic ability wasn't there yet. Couldn't use it. Now we have both of the teams with their heroics, and immediately we're also seeing the stay a while and get wrecked. Cocoon and Bonabir gets attacked and has no chance. But neither does Smexy. Deckard Kane is down. The trade for Li Ming. We have Farlander with Maiev starting to move to the top. Another double hit from Stork. Stork gets the double stun out, and they drop Gul'dan. Mene is dead. 4 kills against 4, and this is a beautiful game number 1. What an awesome setup here. I love this. This is fantastic. Exactly what we were hoping for. The previous series between Team Russia and Lauber's fan club was already great, but now we're looking at Washed Up against Team Russia. And the Russians, they are aggressive as usual. Again, the stun. Imperius comes in, rams his spear down the cockroach's throat, and just lifts it up. Stork is definitely running that front line right now. He is doing exceptionally well with this. And he went into Wrath of Angeris, actually. He went into Wrath. They're trying to go for these kills right now, and I can't wait to see how that's working out for them in the next fight there. There we go. Gets Nubarak into the back. The immediate focus on him, and JPL gets wrecked. He gets completely wrecked, and they go for Hazops next. Hazops is down, and the Russian team is on fire. They are absolutely on fire, jumping in kill after kill. Wrath of Hungarians with a beautiful setup to get the buck destroyed, and what a play! Everybody had Washed Up as the clear victor of the tournament pretty much before they even signed up, and they might still win this, but all of a sudden Team Russia is showcasing very impressively that there is still a lot of arguments to be made, while there might be other teams that can do this. Boss call had been made, but now everybody's back up. Hazops isn't here yet. They engage into the fight. Boss already taken. Cocoon on the ground against the healer. Stork moving away here. Misha with a stun, and they're moving out. Containment disc on the ground. Malfurion, in comes Urel, and there's the hop straight to the face, hooves to the head, and that's the end of Malfurion. Greenbeard goes down, Objective is pushing, this one is dropping the top side easily, bottom of course also going to be taken out here, 6 kills against 5, 12 versus 12. At the top right, we're seeing the fort destroyed, the boss still on the move, and at the bottom of the map, the push out against the Zerg wave. The fort wide open right now, wide open, and that's going to be the next target here. Washed Up is defending against the boss. They don't want to lose the keep here. Up, down to the bottom of the map. We are currently seeing the team moving in aggressively against another fort, trying to drop that as quickly as they can to make sure that they have the additional lead in experience through the passive gains. And they're getting close. And not quite able to take it, but they're close. Really close for this one, and still Barnaby are trying to get the damage in. It's a little bit far out. They're pushing it back through. They see that Urel isn't here yet, and they take it. They take it, they can take the wall, can limit the vision even more, and that's exactly what we see happening. And we have them with level 13 talent advantages engage into the camp. Build with the Divine Rage once again, reducing the cooldown of the Molten Armor. Big cooldown reductions coming through now through several talents, and they're stealing the camps away of their opponent. They're taking the camps. At this point, we're actually seeing them not only with the camp at the bottom right, we see the top right taken too, so both of the camps stolen away, and it comes to the level 13 talent advantage. You have level 13 and Washed Up, they're not taking any chances here. They know that this is all of a sudden a game that is a lot more so on the line. This is tough. I mean, right now, things are starting to get pretty dicey, pretty difficult, because bottom lane is going to fall eventually. You can take this, and that is going to help. And the wave over here is already doing it. Love how we have a setup here at the side. That one is pretty nice. Falender, Shamzik, they're all starting to move in for that now. They take the one forward. But of course you have no fallback option anymore. And to be fair with you, I mean, we have no fallback option in the sense of a fountain at the top fort or the bottom fort on the side of Team Russia either. But they still hold on to at least one fort that they can use when waves are pushing in. Their keeps are not quite as exposed as the ones of Washed Up are. So there's definitely a couple of advantages now for the Russian team. But by no means is Washed Up out of this yet. They are behind in experience, but only by half a level. They can still take these fights, and it has been a back and forth game the entire time. But you can tell that the Russian team is sitting here and is starting to still keep applying that pressure. They don't want to let up. They want to make sure that they are the ones calling the shots. And the farther they push these lanes out, the more they dominate the vision as well. The more difficult it is for Washed Up to move out onto the map. So it's all about the objective control now again, and about the setups here. If you get level 16, that would of course be the dream, but you can already see that JPL is looking to see if there's at any point an engage opportunity where they can go in, force the fight, drop the cocoon, and go for it. And Stork is already suffering. He ate the combo from Mane, and he ate a lot of damage from Phoenix afterwards. So as long as they keep him low, they're in a decent spot here. Everybody's just waiting to see if there's a setup, if there's a chance. And Mane, by the way, is waiting for his stats. Here comes the containment disc. They're going for Urel again. Ult hasn't even been used by Eternal Net, but there's the tether. Mane with a Horrify, and Stork is in trouble. Salvo comes out. Ult is being used to save Imperius, and they're going for Nubarak. But Rexa is down. Great setup, and here comes Smexy. Smexy with a stay a while and get wrecked, son. But he himself is in trouble as Farlander dodges the ult. Liming with the resets and the kills. 1 down, 2 down, and they're trying to follow it up with another one against Eternal. Ult is already on cooldown, and here comes Imperials. And Farlander moves in, Li Ming with another kill and the reset. What a fantastic fight again. Stalk, as the salvo is about to drop him, uses his ult, spears up Anubarak, brings him into the backline. They lose one hero. Smexy wants to provide a few more kill opportunities, but then Farlander just dodges out on the stay and while listen with his Maiev, jumps back in, tethers too, and they get the kills. They get the resets for Li Ming and the kills after that. Absolutely insane setup here again. Beautiful fight. And now 16 versus 15. The objective again under the control of Team Russia. 9 kills against 6. Boss in the middle. And here comes Washed Up. They want to make sure that they're holding on to the objective for as long as they can. Just push in, interrupt for a moment. Do something here. But already Maiev in position here. They're trying to get the vision. They're trying to get an opportunity to force that fight around level 16 talents. And so far, it hasn't worked out. But this is definitely a setup where things can become super dicey now for Washed Up if they're forced into a fight. And Stork is looking for it. Stork gets locked down by Smexy. A bit of damage comes from Hazorbs. But there's the Zerg wave. 100%. 100% against 0. Still makes this thing pretty difficult, but there's 2 catapults right now that deal with this, and there's a fort at the top side, and Urel, she wants to push that out, get to level 16, but now down to the bottom of the map, of course, it is time for the main show, and that is Russia pushing for keep. Pushing for keep, and if they get kills, pushing for the victory. And you know, Stork is waiting with the Wrath of Angarius to jump in and escort Mene or some other backliner straight into the hands and the embrace of Li Ming and her combo. Already the setup right here. Stork waiting for it, looking at Phoenix here. They get the keep, easy peasy. And now they're going to be looking for an opportunity. Already the charge being used, starting to go in, following it through. Smexy with a nice setup. Here comes the completed quest on Gul'dan. The cocoon in the ground, but JPL is low. And there comes the Celestial Charge. Spear through the throat, and he is down. Hazorbs ports back barely. Eternal is low, and the Russian team is looking at the core. Are they going to commit? 10 versus 6. Still a bit of a wave at the top, but the catapults are going to deal with that eventually. And already we have the Russians on the core here. Hazorbs low. Stork in the back. Still waiting for another opportunity to maybe go in and drop someone here. Spear them up. They get these shields, and there's the first few damage points. Farlander looking for the tether. Hazorbs, they go for Urel. Urel, the shield is out. Ult is used by Eternal, and they have to be careful here, but the Anubarak is going to be back in 4 seconds. 91% on the core right now, and they're retreating. Russia is retreating for now. The disc comes out against Hazu, but he dodges it. Phoenix dodges the disc. No connect here with Smexy, and they're going in again, and Hazorbs is dead in a second. The Celestial Charge, and then Misha comes in. Stay and while and listen. Smexy on the run now, saving his teammates as they are getting followed, but the boss is up. Phoenix has just fallen. Ults are coming back online, but is Russia really committing to it? And they're not. Russia doesn't commit yet. They're going instead over to the camp. No boss for him just now, but already Washed Up, double-checked what's happening here, and they had to. 18 versus 17. 11 kills against 6. Ruinous Affliction now for Mene. And with that, we're having Mene at 47,000 damage, but it's Hazorbs that is leading the numbers with 59k. Talking numbers. 43,000 for Imperius. Imperius with massive, massive damage here. Again, pushing out the lanes up at the top. Level 20 is something that they're definitely going to work on now. But the core is wide open. Bottom keep destroyed. Top keep opened up a little bit with one of the towers, or well, the gate attacked here. No fort on the lane on the map anymore. Already Stork anchoring the place here, trying to make sure that anybody who walks in here will immediately be taken out. Farlander with a follow-up tether. And they have the push at the bottom of the map. Beacons are activating again. But time is working in favor of the red team. Here comes the charge. Farlander goes in, gets stunned out though. Horrifiers, they're going onto Imperius, but the stun of JPL misses. He misses the stun, but Stork still falls, and Farlander is low. Li Ming gets the kill against Min in the backline, gets the resets as well, and looks for another combo. Doesn't find it just yet. They're retreating. A kill versus 2, but there could be more, as Eternal is trying to go for Rexa, and he's about to get it. Feign Death saves Rexa for now. JPL is low, but they still want the kill against him, and Rexa goes down. The man with the mask goes down, and that is 3 kills against 1. Top lane pressuring heavily. The entire wall open now. The keep itself under pressure, as we have Russia down to 2 players, but they're still getting some damage in, and of course Washed Up now looking for the objective, trying to carry that game here. The 20 talent is so close for Russia at this point. We're seeing again the bot lane committed to heavily. There's the 20 pushing it out. Level 20 has been chosen. Top keeper's taking damage, but it's not down, and this should be a big objective for Washed Up. But how much can they get out of it? Barnaby even looking to see if he can maybe interrupt that just for a second, buy a little bit more time, buys the time for his team. They have 4 back up on the map, but Rexa is still down. And if Barnaby falls, if the cocoon comes out and the follow-up is there, that would be a nightmare for them right now. And here comes the engage, the cocoon, and he dodges it too early. Cocoon on the ground, the cocoon dodge not successful, blinks away, tries to get out of range. There's the lockdown. Barnabia gets out thanks to the Nature's Cure, and they're turning it around against Eternal, but he's able to get his ult through just in time. Imperius taken now too, and that's of course a great survival talent for Imperius. Top lane, by the way, that is a problem. I talked about earlier how this is already going to do damage, especially with the catapults here. Stork again. Oh, the setup against Phoenix just in front of the wall, and they get the kill. The lockdown. Malfurion is dead, but they get the 1-for-1 trade. Stork is a bit in trouble. Has to be careful here. Stay in white and listen, and he goes down, and Uburak is able to drop him, but the top keep has fallen at the same time. Rexa is dead though, and all of a sudden Washed Up, they want to go for victory here. They have 4 on the map. Barnabia is lasering everything in the ground in the backline. They're saying, guys, with 4 we might be still able to hold that, but take those Guardians out, and they do. Barnabia trying to go for Mane, but of course Washed Up is looking for the kill right now. They want to go for the core, they want to go for the game, they have to. Their own core is already getting attacked here, and they're trying to race it down. The cocoon against Maiev was fantastic. The core down to 60%, but they're starting to get low. There's the kill against Slimming. That might be it. That might just be 30% on the core against 80, and here comes Washed Up. They're going for the final blow, and they are able to take the game, turn it around, do the comeback. 6.5 out of 10 would watch again as Washed Up takes the lead. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, ended in favor of Washed Up. It was a huge comeback in the late game that they performed there. And now we're heading into our second map, which is Cursed Hollow. And, well, the Russians aren't really too happy about the outcome of the first game. They played really well, played very aggressive. But unfortunately for them, they weren't able to make it there. So now we're looking at our second game, and Cursed Hollow is the map choice. And it is the map choice of Team Washed Up. And that immediately brings me to the Vikings, or Abathur, because we have Hazops on that team. And I want to see if any of that gets banned out by the Russian team. And so far, the answer is no. I'm waiting for the Abathur pick. Okay, there's the ban. There's the ban. Washed Up bans out Abathur themselves. And I guess that means there's also a good chance we don't see Vikings either. Zeratul as the first pick makes it even more unlikely. If you let Abathur through and your opponent picks Abathur and you pick Vikings, that's usually something where you can get way ahead in the game here. So I think the chances that we're actually going to see Abathur are a lot less now. Especially with Zeratul, of course, being in the game, who can try and farm them as well. So that's a good start in the draft, either way. Diablo and Hanzo already taken here, so potentially Arrow into Apocalypse. It's one of these setups that you have, where you have synergy between the ults that you can use, but you don't have to. But depending on the rest of your lineup, it's always an option. So it's always pretty cool to have. But yeah, Vikings at this point, definitely something that I wouldn't really expect to see. Jesus, Zeratul and Maiev. Zeratul, Maiev, and Malfurion. Like, if you want to force and engage, you can definitely force it now. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that with initiation, you know? Pick a tank too that can help you out with that, but damn, that's already pretty solid. So, well, let's see. What are we going to have in terms of bans? I mean, there's still Jaina to consider. If you have a Zeratul already, then the chances of Jaina with the Ring of Frost are always huge. But we could also see that Jaina 4 washed up. Mane would like to play that if he gets the stun set up for her. And since they ban out Garrosh, I think there's actually a good chance that it happens. Hammer banned out, so no Sergeant Hammer shenanigans. Hazops has showed that a few times already, so just make sure that you're not having any trouble with that. And here come the picks. I still expect the mage. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jaina taken, considering that they're not banning her out against the Zeratul and Maiev combo. It just feels like that's something that Jaina could really capitalize on, so that would be a pick that wouldn't shock me at all. Mane wants to have something. Li Ming, of course, with resets is also there and would be good. Oh, Uther. Okay, so trying to prevent the burst out, the damage burst with Uther. Haven't seen Uther in a long time on that level of play. But he is great with the Divine Shield and his burst heals to mitigate just like burst damage of any kind. So that's one of the counterplays that they're trying to make here. And of course we're still waiting for that last pick choice. Imperious again. Imperious and the Li Ming variation for resets over Jaina. So Li Ming for resets, Imperious at the front line. 4 stocks, the 3rd time in a row now that we're seeing Imperious played by them. 3rd time? 2nd time? No, this is the 3rd time, yeah. Previous series, this series, and now. And what's the last pick? 4 washed up before we're heading into the game. Okay, Thrall gets taken, so triple melee that we have from them with Uther now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for game number 2. The first one was a blast. Let's hope that this one is also going to be fun. Cursed Hollow, map number 2 between Washed Up and Team Russia. Game number 2, Russia against Washed Up, and we are heading into the game here with Imperious played by Stork again for Team Russia, Shamzik on Zeratul, we have Kolya Martian on Malfurion, Banabir on Li Ming, and Farlander on Maiev. And to the right side of the map, Washed Up with Mane on Hanzo, JPL on Diablo, Hazops on Thrall, Uther, played by Smexy, and Eternal, playing Dehaka. So Uther, definitely a little bit out of the norm what we're usually seeing here, but he has a couple of things that you can do with him. Now, first of all, he was picked early in the draft, so even if there's a Jaina picked, you have something that can mitigate the problem of getting a hero bursted to death within a second, which especially with the Zeratul Void Prison into Ring of Frost combo can deliver. So you have not only the burst heals, but you have also Divine Shield against it. In addition to that, whenever you're going up against a hero that is very mobile as a melee assassin and uses mobility, you also have the stun of Uther as an added tool. So one of the reasons why in the past we've seen oftentimes even Divine Storm taken against Genji compositions is that whenever Genji commits into the backline, you have not only your normal stun, but you have even a Divine Storm available that you can use to take that down. So for the engaged heroes that are looking for the initiation, like Maiev and Zeratul, that is another problem that they have to deal with. You can definitely play around that, but it's definitely something they have to be cautious about heading into the game right now. Already, the team's waiting for the Siege Giants to appear, trying to make sure that they are in a position where they can push the bot lane very, very early. But we're having also 2 camps committed to by the opponent's team. Banabir alone is taking the Siege Giant camp, and we have the commitment already from Farlander and Kolya Martian right over in the mid lane, dropping that camp super early. Very, very early double camp that we're seeing now. And that's going to apply a lot more pressure than what we have from Washed Up in this case. So, Team Russia in this setup with Stork at the bot lane, adjusted again, burned the Impure on level 1. So he made small adjustments and went into the Q quest. on the last map, Brex's Holdout, which is of course like one of those reasons or one of those things that they can't do when you have a map where it's a 4-man versus 4-man the entire time. You have a good chance to not only get that easy double stun, but even the triple stun as the game continues, and that's pretty strong for Imperius just in general. Once you have that on your Celestial Charge, the cooldown reduction can really help you throughout the game. But on a bigger map like this, he made the adjustment again, went on level 1 into Burn the Impure, and now with level 4, we have Battle Hunger, as we did in the previous games where he played around those talents. So the middle of the map already opened up, thanks to the camp that was taken this early. Take the tower down, take the gate down too. Of course, for Zeratul, we see still the build straight into his cleave. Gonna wait for that Void Slash on level 16 to get most of the damage through still, even after adjustments through mini patches. With that, we're having, for Thrall, the stack process continuing for Hazu Ops. And obviously, in an ideal world, before the first objective spawns, you would like to have those stacks together. We're now 2 minutes and 50 seconds in. Usually around that time, you don't really have that second stack on the Echo of the Elements. But you oftentimes hope to get that around, like, let's say, 3.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. If that's the window where you hit the 20, you're in a pretty happy place. But right now, Hazops is heavily pressured the bot lane, so he's going to be delayed on that for sure. Cornelia Marshall with the first channel. Tribute goes over to the Russian team. We're having mid lane pressure through the camp that was now taken by Washed Up, so they moved back out for that. Nice! Catching the rotation here, actually. And wow, that Malfurion rotation was completely greedy. Way too far out. Li Ming also sitting here, can't really do too much either. And that was a free kill right there onto Malfurion, and nothing that Russia's going to be happy about, because now they are also having trouble defending in the mid lane. Banabia makes a long rotation around, the safe one, and is finally able to help out, but the entire wall has fallen already, including both of the towers. So that is pretty solid here for Washed Up. Good start for them. They get the kill, they get the entire wall. So after we had an initial tiny lead for Team Russia, Washed Up is paying them back in kind. But yeah, that Malf movement was a bit optimistic to think they wouldn't be there taking him down. I mean, they were literally visible at that point. But yeah, thought he could sneak through, and they educated him otherwise very quickly. Holy Fervor on level 7, again, build very consistent that we're seeing from Stark, outside of the small level 1 adjustment that we mentioned earlier. And with the position taken and the heavy melee commitment, we're seeing Washed Up moving away from now, giving 2 up. Now, one of the 2 reasons is, well, they have a very melee-heavy setup, and with you go with a setup like this into a fight, you have to heavily commit. And currently, they're not willing to do that yet. They're playing around their global and have a slight lead in experience already, thanks to the Haka being part of their composition. So roughly half a level ahead. Normally, if you play that style, it means that when the 3rd objective spawns, you will have a small lead around level 10, and that normally helps you to secure the 3rd objective for yourself without your opponent even putting up a fight for it. That said, Russia still has 2 tributes, so the next one is going to be fought over if they think they can engage into it, but it's going to come down to the experience window. Stalk already with a stun right there, trying to slow Eternal down a little bit. Rotation comes in, and this is a problem. This is a massive problem. This is a kill. This should definitely be a kill. Yep, there's the body blocks, there's another Celestial Charge, and that's the kill against the Haka, just as he was topside, because the next tribute is spawning at the bottom of the map. Smexy is still sitting here too. Big question, of course, at this point is how do you play this? We have Zeratul at the top. Siege Giant Camp is going to do massive damage here, and they're starting to rotate down to try and fight for this. And now the experience lead for Washed Up, as small as it was, is completely gone. Top lane is a problem. And the Haka might burrow down here. Already pings are being thrown out, but this could be a curse. This could literally be a curse right now. They're going to interrupt for some time, but the Haka is moving topside because he has to deal with this. Level 10 abilities are now in, and with that, they have to move away. It's early level 10 for Team Russia. There's the channel, and that is going to be the curse against Washed Up in game number 2. Topside Dehaka is finally able to deal with those siege giants, at least to an extent. The wall has already fallen. They're pushing in aggressively against JPL, trying to take him down. Apocalypse is being used, didn't do anything. No combo from them. Yes, Malfurion is low, uses Tranquility, but they're still absolutely fine, and they're fighting here. Void Prison comes through. There's the Earthquake from Hazorps. Already the containment is used too. Dehaka comes in from behind, and Zeratul is in trouble, but so is JPL. The Divine Shield saves him as they're trying to turn it around again, and topside is taking damage. There's still Siege Giants. Celestial Charge against Eternal, and he needs to move away from this. Damage against the structures on all lanes right now. Bottom lane already starting to drop here slowly and steadily. Hazorps is starting to move in on his Thrall, but he's already late. Up at the top, 1/4 is down. That's passive experience already increasing, and even Thrall isn't sure if he's safe down here. Now that he sees the commitment in the mid lane, he has to rotate to help them. The lane is taken, and that could be all 3 forts eliminated. Tether is in. Stork might be in trouble. They're going to open up the wall for him, the small one at least for now. They're trying to. They're breaking through the top one, and now the curse is over, and they're still sitting here, and Malf is completely lost. Personally, I can recommend Google Maps. It's a fantastic... Ooh! Smexy is looking... Oh my god. We're talking about an inting support, and Smexy just sits there and says, hold my beer. But as Smexy dies, we have the engage from the back and a triple kill from Washed Up, and they immediately go for boss. What just happened? Great engage behind the fort, then Kolya Martian gets lost on the map, doesn't have his navigation system online, and walks straight into the fort, which slows him down. That's an easy kill. Smexy then says, well, if you do something like that, I can do that too. He dies as well, but they wrap around and attack from behind, and that's something that Russia was just not expecting, and they lose 3 in the process. So all of a sudden we have 5 kills against 2, a lead in experience for Washed Up, and well, despite the fact that 2 of those structures have already been eliminated, the experience lead for the red team is a significant one. I mean, they're basically a level ahead at this point. Oh, that is getting dicey. I mean, one of the problems that you really have with a curse when you commit to a 5-man push in any lane is that you miss out on minion experience on those side lanes, because they get taken out by your own waste pretty easily. So that was experience that Washed Up could take. I mean, we can take a quick look at this right now. Look at the difference in minion experience right there. So your initial thought to jump on would be, hey, if you curse your opponent, that's amazing for you. And it is. When it comes to pressure against structures, because they don't shoot anymore, you can escort them in. The problem is if your opponent loses all their minion waves because they only have 1 HP, but your waves push more consistently against them, they have a safer time close to their own keeps or forts to soak that experience, whereas you lost that XP if you don't have heroes on the lane. So we have a huge gap in minion experience, which explains most of the difference that we see in XP here. The hero experience, of course, plays a role too, because we have more kills now for the red team. But yeah, there's a huge aspect of this. 13 versus 13 now, isolation on Stork. Gets, on the other hand, shield. Oh, eats the entire arrow. Well done here. Containment disc comes out. Stork is a bit low. Void Prison in the back. They're going for the Haka. They're turning around against Hazorps, and he still walks away, but Stork is thinking about engaging from the side. Both of them moving away from now. Stork needs a couple of heals and gets them from Malfurion. Ult is already being used though, and we still have Divine Shield and Apocalypse, and here comes the engage. They're jumping in, but Fallen done, nicely done, jumps away from it. The Divine Shield on Diablo as he's trying to move away from the fight. Good engage by Stork, and the follow-up was there, but Smexy paid attention and had the Divine Shield out immediately. Limbing, of course, still with a low cooldown on the wave of force. Mid lane gets pressure. Top lane, there's another camp pushing. Time working in favor of Team Russia, but the poke is strong. Stork attacked again. He goes in and dies, but he gets the counter kill against Uther. Problem is that Maiev has also fallen. She got the containment is through. Hazorps is low in mana, but still trying to fight through here. Going for a few body blocks as well. The isolation hits once more, and that is the kill against the Zeratul. In the mid lane, fort has to be defended. Top lane is pressuring 2 siege giants, and catapults are already breaking through the wall, but now still that 1 level lead that we see for Washed Up, as they have 1 tribute under their control now. Dehaka is dealing with the top lane right now, and in the mid lane the fort has been defended as well. 8 kills against 3 so far in the game. Boss still up, 16, 1 level away. And a tough game. for both of them here. When it comes to kills in general, that's really where Washed Up is currently just dominant. They shine. But the pressure on the map is pretty heavy because of Team Russia and how many forts they could already eliminate and how well they are playing around these pushes. Now they take the boss too, but with them not having access to the level 16 talent, they will probably have to let the objective go for now. And let's not forget that there is still the global aspect of the Haka in the game. Again, Celestial Charge. Stork is really playing well around those, but there's the combo, the arrow to the apocalypse, and this is the reckoning. Khaldor Martian trying to... Oh my god! Mena with a kill! The setup, the two Frenchies here with the baguette synergy as they land that arrow, land the apocalypse, and then we have the damage output from the rest of the team, the top two. And even as Malfurion with Tranquility moves away, Mena just goes in and hits another arrow right between the eyes, crowns himself the Wilhelm Tell, the Robin Hood of this Cursed Hollow game, and they get another 3 kills. 11 against 3 right now, far ahead with the 16 talents. They got the second tribute to defended against the boss, and even though their structures on the map have taken a pummeling, they are still absolutely fine here. Ahead in experience, and once that they take that curse, once that they claim the next boss, they should be able to also change the structural situation on the map pretty easily. The game so far in their favor in every team fight. They just need to catch up in structures, but they aren't really as far behind. As long as Team Russia is not winning a team fight, it is. If Team Russia takes a team fight, that would be a really different story. If they get a couple of kills here, maybe something like this, the setup against JPL, the tether, the root, Diablo, the arrow, and JPL is alive, but Zeratul in the backline is dead. Eternal once again moving in. They're going for Stork now, and he moves in once more with another Celestial Charge, but that's already way too late. He goes down. They have the 16, but it's too late. The tribute is soon going to be on the map, and this is the ideal scenario. This is potentially the death of Team Russia. The boss taken and then timing the third tribute, timing the curse around the boss. That is a Heroes of the Storm player's dream on this map, on Heroes of the Storm. They're starting to go in, they take the boss, they channel the curse, and it couldn't be any better than that. The coup de grace right there. Banabia at the bottom lane, still trying to get some experience, still trying to push this out, making sure that the fort is not going to be attacked anytime soon, preparing for a little bit more time. They have a camp in the middle that's also great for Russia. They're not going to lose too much structurals over there, but the problem is the top lane. This is really where the music is playing right now. You have an insane setup for Washed Up. They are ahead in experience. Same talents, yes, but boss plus curse, that's usually a lot of dead shit on the map, and that's what they're hoping for right now. If they can jump behind, get a good Dragon with Eternal, maybe hit that isolation, arrow hits an Apocalypse, it could be lights out. It could literally be core. At this point, Russia needs to play it safe, and there it is, the arrow. They go for it, silence on Zeratul, but they're moving away. Fantastic reaction so far from Russia. They still have Zeratul in the game. They have the Void Prison. They can stall that out, and they're using it immediately, but Zeratul himself is actually attacked and goes down. Mena with a kill, and the double kill. Li Ming is dead, and they turn their attention to Stork. Imperious falls, 16 kills against 3, and Washed Up is on the core. Farlander goes for the defense. He still has that cleave damage. He's trying to get that in. JPL is about to go down, but the core is losing HP, and Malfurion is dead. This is game as Washed Up takes the series with a 2-0 victory against Team Russia.